Hi, this is Paul with TFO Solutions, and we're here talking with our CEO and fearless leader, Tina O'Banion. Hi, Tina. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Paul?
Great. You've had a busy week, haven't you?
I have. It is a busy time of year right now. It's April 17th and it is going strong. So yeah, it's helping a lot of clients out right now.
X week. Well, we had a great conversation the other day about inventory, and I know in this strange time that's going on right now, you got this worldwide timeout going on. Why should I be concerned with inventory?
Well, if you're selling a product, you should always be concerned about your inventory levels and what's going on with your inventory and where your inventory is located, right?
Mhm.
Good thing to know is I've seen clients that have just not paid attention to their inventory counts, not paid attention to what warehouses are where the inventory is located. Um, I think it's just kind of one of those things that you have to count your inventory. You've got to make sure it's not in transit. I mean, I have to ask those questions when I look at what's going on with inventory sometimes and say, hey, I'm showing this, but your inventory counts at the end of the period show this. Are we missing something? Are we missing some inventory in transit? And that's what we found out just the other day when I was wrapping up March inventory. I tried to do their inventory on a quarterly basis, and sure enough, there was some inventory in transit going from their warehouse to Amazon. So, just tracking that, making sure you're counting the inventory, making sure you're understanding what's in transit, and having good systems is key.
Okay. All right. So really, there's several ideas here. What's this? Let's start with this thing. You mentioned somewhere in there, and we've talked before about cost of goods sold. What is that, and what comprises of it? What
Well,
what is
cost
it
of goods
comprised
sold
of?
is yes, the cost of goods sold is like your pen, right? If you have this pen, you know what it costs to buy it. Let's say you add something to it like a different kind of lead into the pencil. You've got to not only do you have a purchase price of the actual item, but you have to include all your shipping to get the item into your warehouse. You have to include it if you're getting this from, let's say overseas, and you've got some tariff taxes that are being applied to that. You've got to apply the tariff taxes to your item as part of your cost of goods sold. And so I've experienced this with another client of mine that forgot that the Chinese started adding tariffs back last year. And that amount was not a small amount, let me just tell you. So I had to go back and do this whole exercise to make sure that the tariffs were being included into their cost of goods sold. And it was hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're talking about here. So you've just got to make sure that all your embedded costs are captured so that when you go to sell this item, you might have purchased this item for $1, but all embedded, it could be $1, 50 for all I know. It could, because of all the shipping and all of the tariffs and all the other costs to get it to you and add the special lead, that price just went up from $1 to $1.50, which is
So there's a
important
lot
to
of
know.
things that comprise this. There's a collection of such, and that sounds like that's about systems and process. So let's talk about systems and process. What would you recommend? I mean, what about a
Well,
system?
that's a good point. I think it's always good to have a good inventory management system. I use QuickBooks. I've used QuickBooks Inventory. I've used QuickBooks Desktop. I'm a QuickBooks certified pro advisor for QuickBooks Online. Their inventory management system is not the best, but it will work. There's a lot of software out there. I would just make sure that it can handle, your inventory movements and your quantity and your volume. So that's important. If I wouldn't use QuickBooks Online to do massive SKUs, for instance. I do have a client that uses it for, they only have 5 SKUs, which is easy to manage in QuickBooks Online. Whereas another client of mine has over 1,000 SKUs. And that's very hard to manage in a system like an accounting system. So I think they use inventory management, and there's all kinds of systems out there, but that's very key, is to make sure you have a good inventory management system.
And it sounds like the system drives the process. And so in summary, we really need to have a system in place based on a singular platform. And yeah, we're kind of plugging QuickBooks here, but that seems to be kind of the ubiquitous system. Understand the cost of your goods sold. And if you're managing it correctly, you should do that. But count everything. It sounds like everything has to be counted.
Yes, absolutely. Count it twice.
Well, thanks, Tina. This is great stuff. I think this will really help our viewers and our listeners. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.